Now, Howard, another just general question is, how did you become a collector of art?
Well, again, a not so complicated series of events led to this experience. Back in the early 70s, when I had moved back to Dallas from law school, I became friendly with a lady who worked, who was an art teacher actually in the DISD, and her boyfriend was, my best friend here. And we would go to the little Dallas art fairs and the little things like that. And I had a little apartment, so I wanted something on the wall. So it started as innocently as most people would do. And so actually, she did a painting, and I bought it for a modest amount of money. And we would buy a few other little nicks and knacks. And then within about a year of that first meeting, I became friendly with a man named Ralph Kahn, who owned the Contemporary Gallery here in Dallas. It was one of the first galleries here. And he dealt primarily in modern master prints and then some regional art and then a few internationally recognized artists. And he had born in Europe. He was born in Germany. So he had a particular bent towards European works and more modern master works. And he was my first mentor in terms of beginning to quote-unquote collect. And it was buying prints from, of Chagall and Miro and Picasso and Matisse and then occasionally buying a work of art by a contemporary artist. And he really was my source and inspiration for the first 4 or 5 years of beginning to collect. A friend of mine in Florida, who is a well-known and extremely successful and large collector, once said that the definition of a collector is someone who has one more work of art than they have wall space to hang it. So I have to credit Don Rubel for that comment. But I think in a sense I never considered myself a collector until some years later. The first significant work of art I bought, and I say significant in the sense the most expensive, was actually in 1980 when I bought a Frank Stella painting. And that I would characterize as sort of the beginning of a serious investigation, and serious equates with making a significant financial commitment and as well as a strong emotional commitment. So that's the genesis, and over the years I have been guided by and have worked with various people to help develop the collection. Needless to say, the house sort of inspired the evolution of the collection, and the house was a result of the beginnings of the idea of a collection. So they've sort of become intertwined over the years. And for the last 11 years, I've worked with a man named Alan Schwartzman, who's the director of our collection. And he is based in New York, is one of the first quote-unquote art advisors. And his primary responsibilities was to help me develop an art historical context for what we were doing, and also to create a collection that was personal and unique and wasn't like every other collection in this country and in Europe. So that has really been our mission for the last 11 years, and the collection has evolved accordingly.
Super.